In the very recent Genshin Impact patch, miHoYo gave us YOIMIYA as a trial character to play. Wait a minute, this isn't a trial. Or is that so that's what you think? Chinese player has figured out that by using the boat, you can actually take YOIMIYA out of the trial and all the way home, back to our homeland, Liyue. Now, many of you were very quick to notice that YOIMIYA in the trial doesn't have the greatest artifact set or substat. In the trial, YOIMIYA were given 4-piece Noblesse set as well as not very good substat like missing power damage bonus, and instead were just given a lot of HP. So how much damage is the difference when a properly geared YOIMIYA is? As it turned out, for free-to-play player who is using a refined rust weapon, the trial YOIMIYA and a free-to-play YOIMIYA has a 16% damage difference. Although for the clip in the background you're seeing right now, he actually has a 5-man party with double Geo and then double Pyro. If we take away the Geo resonance and keeping the power resonance, the difference here is actually only 6% when compared to a free-to-play YOIMIYA. Now do know that this damage difference here is actually a sizable damage difference, but it's not the biggest damage difference in the world. If you're curious, the reason is because in the trial she was given Constellation free as well as a 5-star weapon, which is her best in slot and have higher base attack. So what that means is that it actually kind of compensated, especially with the Constellation free, since her Constellation 2 do give her like 25 power damage bonus, which is like almost only a little bit less than a power goblet that she would have gotten. And of course her talent level in the trial was 696 because of the Constellation, and when we readjust it to about 888, which is almost or less equivalent. Do keep in mind that you cannot judge the character strength like this just by looking at clips like these, even if you account for the damage difference. These right here are simply YOIMIYA showcases that showcase her gameplay much better than the trial could, since the trial have you fighting like trash mob, and here you have you fighting actual bosses across a minute or two. Although thanks to the trial YOIMIYA that miHoYo were very kind to given to us, we were actually be able to figure out a lot about YOIMIYA mechanics. For example, her internal cooldown on her elemental burst, as well as her internal cooldown or ICD on her normal attack and stuff. So we are capable of figuring out stuff like here and there. For example, her elemental skill is actually multiplicative on top of her normal attack, which is actually worse than just being additive, because her number are so small so that when you multiply two small numbers together, it is not as good as adding two small numbers together. And of course, other stuff like how her elemental gauges work, or like how she cannot actually utilize Xingqiu very well, since she apply Pyro before Xingqiu's, which means she does not actually do the Vaporize, instead Xingqiu's does the Vaporize, which is a very bad thing because reverse Vaporize Xingqiu's is actually not too hot of a concept. In terms of YOIMIYA, she is one of the best looking character. I really like her design, and I really like her look. I really like her outfit and her playstyles. I'm always a fan of playing archers. That's why at the beginning of the game I played it Fischl. Unfortunately, of course, Fischl didn't turn out to be a great DPS, so I'm hoping that YOIMIYA will be a really good DPS to fill in that gap for me. I pretty much played it like Archer exclusively in almost any game I play. Even in Maple Story right now, I am playing Pathfinder, which is a subclass of a Archer. Unfortunately, I might not be able to free craft her since I'll be moving and I'll be starting full-time job at a small indie game company, and so I'll be making a channel update about next week. And finally, here is our absolutely favorite boss, which is the Crowd Regis Find. And as a final thing, we can actually try to compare this to my Hu-Tao, but do know that you cannot compare a character like that because one of these is vaporizing and the other one is not. Do keep in mind that you cannot really compare a character like that, but for reference, here is my crit rate and crit damage. This is not a direct showcase or anything. Keep in mind that you cannot compare a character like that. Since this is the trial YOIMIYA, her damage output here is actually going to be equivalent. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe for YOIMIYA pre-release analysis, which I might do next week, and then bye bye.